The world destroys your opportunity, and it breaks your heart.
This movie is based on a true story. A girl named Joy is part of a big family. From an early age, Joy loves making various crafts with her own hands. Joy's mother Terry constantly sits in her room watching melodramas. The only person who truly understands Joy is her grandmother Mimi. One day she tells the granddaughter that a great future awaits her. Many years have passed. Joy's life is not turning out the way she wanted. However, Joy still loves inventing various interesting things, hoping that she will someday be able to patent something. Terry still spends all her time watching endless love series. Joy is running late for work when there's a knock on the door. Standing on the doorstep was Rudy, her father. Rudy's wife Sharon kicked him out of the house, so he had nowhere to live again. Of course Terry is not happy to see her ex-husband. They start arguing as usual. Joy can no longer listen to this constant quarreling. In an outburst of emotions, Rudy began trashing the apartment. Joy's children of course hear it too. Rudy asks his daughter for forgiveness, while Terry continues watching her series. Since there are no vacant rooms in the house, Rudy will have to temporarily live in the basement. Tony, Joy's ex-husband, who is unemployed and sings all day, also lives here. In general, the family is in a difficult life situation. Joy is already catastrophically late for work, so Mimi will take the children to a birthday party. Peggy, Joy's paternal half-sister, arrives. She often makes jokes about Joy, considering her a loser. Joy works at the airport and is very tired. In addition, the boss announced that employees will now have to take night shifts. Rudy helps his daughter pay the mortgage and has his own business, but things are not going well so far. Joy has a couple of ideas to improve the business, but her father is busy dating women. This time he's going on a date with Trudy. Tony and Rudy constantly argue. But even when Rudy leaves for the date, the house doesn't become quieter. Terry constantly sits in front of the TV and neglects cleaning, so Joy has to do everything herself. The plumbing gets clogged, and once again Joy has to take matters into her own hands. In the evening, despite her fatigue, Joy reads a book to her daughter. Joy feels trapped. As soon as she lies down, she falls asleep. Joy has a nightmare about becoming the heroine of the series her mother watches. She thinks about how her last 17 years have gone nowhere. After the parents' divorce, her life has gone wrong. Joy woke up to the doorbell ringing. It was Jackie, Joy's childhood friend. The women hadn't seen each other in a long time and finally had a heart-to-heart conversation. Joy honestly talked about all her life problems. She works all the time, but it's still not enough money. Joy doesn't understand how her life has come to this. She used to have many plans for the future, but with each passing year it seems more unattainable and distant. Jackie recalls the party where Joy met Tony and fell in love at first sight. Tony is the son of a music teacher who dreams of becoming a popular singer. He shared this with his new acquaintance. Tony believes that everyone should do what they want without getting caught up in mundane matters. Joy also shared about her dream of patenting one of her inventions. She was an honors student in school and got accepted into a college in Boston, but she had to stay here and help the mother, as well as the father with his business. Since then, Joy and Tony have been inseparable. In this difficult period, Joy needed someone who would bring joy into her life. Soon the lovers decided to get married. Rudy does not approve of his daughter's choice. In his opinion, Joy could find a much more successful husband. However, Joy loves Tony and has cast aside all doubts. Rudy raised a toast, saying that he had been married twice, and those were the worst times of his life. But now he is happy because he met Sharon. Joy couldn't bear it and burst into tears. The best day of her life was hopelessly ruined. Soon the couple had 2 children, but Tony refused to work, wanting to focus only on music. This caused constant arguments between the husband and wife. Joy feels like she's going crazy, and she definitely doesn't want to repeat her parents' fate. That's why Joy decides to file for divorce. Meanwhile, in the present, Rudy is having fun with his new girlfriend. Trudy is a wealthy widow who still has a yacht from her late husband. Trudy invited Rudy and his family for a yacht ride. Soon they all gathered together. Tony was also here, helping to take care of the children. Rudy feels that it will be a disaster. During the voyage, they accidentally spilled red wine on the yacht's floor, which was built of expensive white wood. While everyone was having fun, Joy as usual was cleaning up the mess and hurt her hands. That same evening, a grand new idea came to her mind, and she started talking to herself while the others looked puzzled. There was a knock on the door. It was the plumber, Twisn't. Terry really didn't want anyone else in her room, and she didn't want to be distracted from her series. Despite the late hour, Joy is not about to go to bed because she constantly has nightmares. Her father, grandmother, and ex-husband realized that she's on the verge of a breakdown. Joy fell asleep right on the stairs, dreaming of escaping from all of this. Rudy and Tony carried her to the couch. Of course, Joy had another nightmare. She can't stop thinking about the 17 wasted years of her life. Joy used to come up with different things and diligently pursue her goals, but then something went wrong. In the morning, Joy told her ex-husband and father to finally move out, otherwise their life will continue to be unbearable. Joy is also determined to meet with Trudy and discuss investing in her new idea. Using her daughter's colored pencils and paper, as well as other available materials, Joy began to bring her idea to life. Later, Joy told Trudy about her new business project. It was an innovative mop. However, for Trudy, just the blueprints weren't enough. She wanted to see something more visual. That's exactly what Joy did. This time she intends to see it through to the end. Suddenly, Joy's mother entered the room with Toussaint. Joy was shocked because Terry hadn't interacted with men for 8 years. Joy sought help from her father's employees to create all the necessary parts. Jackie helps her bring this idea to fruition. Finally, Joy presented the finished mop to Trudy and others. Peggy doesn't believe in the success of this idea, considering it complete nonsense. Trudy explained all the risks involved in this venture, but Joy assured her that she is ready for any challenges. Trudy decided to exercise caution and entrusted her lawyer to conduct a global patent search. It turned out that there's a factory in Hong Kong making a similar product. Terry doesn't want to let Toussaint go, but he has a lot of work. Only now did the woman realize how lonely she had been all these years, which made her cry. The family gathered around the table. Trudy explained that she found someone in another state who can handle the production of the first batch of products. As a precaution, they have to pay him a fee for the patent. Soon Joy received the first assembled mop. The local pastor brought women volunteers to Joy for product testing. From that moment on, the big work began. However, Trudy marred Joy's joy. The manufacturer sent a huge bill for redoing the same batch 4 times. Joy called the manufacturer and said she wouldn't pay for his own mistakes. In the end, Joy hung up. Trudy, who knows how business works, advised her to sell the first batch of products. Joy approached various manufacturers to buy her mop and organize supplies to stores, but no one was interested in collaboration. Primarily because of the high cost of the mop, Joy had no choice but to promote her product independently. However, passers-by only mocked her. Then Jackie had an ingenious idea. They staged a small play in which Jackie pretended to advertise the mop, and Joy acted as an intrigued passerby who was interested in the product. Tony happened to see this. It also caught the attention of the police, who confiscated the merchandise for selling in an unauthorized location. That's when Joy's deception was exposed. The ex-husband didn't even support her. Joy is desperate because nothing is working out for her. On top of everything else, the home phone service is off for non-payment, and Joy's son has fallen ill. The woman is exhausted and upset. Today, she had to endure shame in front of everyone. But Mimi urges her granddaughter not to give up and to keep moving towards her goal, no matter what. There was a knock on the door. It was Tony, who felt guilty towards his ex-wife. He wants to make amends and says that he has an old acquaintance who works in a large company. Tony wants to try to arrange a meeting for Joy with him. Joy doesn't hide her skeptical attitude, but the company looks very impressive. Tony and Joy waited for a very long time. After several hours, Neil Walker said that he couldn't hear them out today because he has a lot of work. However, after getting to know Joy personally, Neil agreed to give her a few minutes. During the presentation, Joy was very nervous as she had never spoken in front of such a distinguished audience. Neil decided to tell Joy about himself. He is the one who decides which products will go into stores. Neil warned that he selects products very carefully and conservatively. Most of Neil's day is spent rejecting applications from people like Joy. She realized that she had to stand her ground to the end, because there might not be another chance. Joy demonstrated her mop in action to Neil, saying that she invented it because it's better than anything she has tried in stores. Neil asked her to stop and asked if she could make 50,000 mops by next week.
Yeah, I think so.
Later, Neil introduced Joy to Todd, who will present her product at the upcoming presentation. Todd turned out to be a very vulnerable and sensitive person, but according to Neil, he sells products better than anyone else. Neil also showed astonished Joy the advertising space. The decorations changed depending on the product being advertised. Joan and Cindy represent the products, and they are the best in their field. Joy looked at all of this with admiration and listened carefully to Neil's advice. Joan and Cindy make huge sales, receiving hundreds of calls in minutes. Neil told Joy to go home, contact her lawyer, carefully review the contract and make sure her product is in order. However, money remained the main problem for Joy. She had to find $200,000 to produce 50,000 mops. But Trudy agreed to write her a check for only half the amount so Joy would share all the financial risks with her. Joy had no choice but to take out a second mortgage on her home. She realizes that if her advertising company fails, she will be left with nothing and mired in debt. The day has come when the advertising campaign was launched. The whole family gathered in front of the TV. Joy is very nervous. However, Todd had absolutely no idea how to use this mop. Not a single call came in from customers. Joy realized that not only had she failed, but she was also in huge debt. At first, silence fell among the family members, and then they began to argue. Christmas Eve was spoiled. Suddenly the phone rang. Joy picked up the phone with fear. It was Neil, who said he was sorry that her product didn't sell. According to Neil, the problem was not with Todd but with the product itself. As agreed in the contract, the company would reimburse her for a third of all expenses. Joy asked Neil to give her another chance, but he said he couldn't do that. Then Joy, full of determination, went to Neil's office and expressed everything she thought. Joy intends to promote the product herself. And even though Neil was against it, Joy made it clear that she did not accept a negative answer because no one knows her product better than she does. Although Joy had never appeared on camera before, Neil decided to give her another chance to sell the mops. The makeup team worked on Joy's image, but she remained dissatisfied with the result. Joy is convinced that if she looks like an ordinary housewife, other women will be more willing to buy her product. Joan and Cindy wish Joy good luck. There are only a few minutes left until the broadcast, and Joy is very nervous. This is her last chance to prove to everyone that she was right. However, in front of the camera, as is often the case with beginners, Joy fell into a stupor. Neil realized that it was a complete failure. Suddenly a call came into the live feed. It was Jackie, who introduced herself as a satisfied customer. She talked about the advantages of the mop. Thanks to the support of her best friend, Joy gained confidence and started promoting her product to millions of viewers. Thousands of calls started coming in. It was an absolute success. Watching it on TV, Jackie is proud of her friend. Neil, who did not expect such huge sales, said that this woman will create a new business. After the live broadcast, Joy can barely hold back tears. From now on, they will be business partners and friends. Joy organized a party to celebrate her success. She is very grateful to Tony, who introduced her to Neil. Joy herself manages the production. Neil also oversees the process. The mop advertising campaign has started again. Sales increase with each run. Joy was over the moon with happiness, but one call marred her joy. Joy rushed home. The whole family was already gathered. It turned out that Mimi had suddenly passed away. Joy didn't want to believe it because the grandmother had always supported her and been there for her, no matter what. Soon the funeral took place. Everyone deeply mourned for Mimi, who held the whole family together. Rudy whispered to his daughter that they had problems with the manufacturer who raised the price. Rudy sent Peggy as the representative to resolve the situation, which of course did not please Joy. However, instead of negotiating the price reduction, Peggy discussed her own project with the manufacturer. She envies her sister and also wants to have a business. Joy told her relatives never to conduct business on her behalf in the future. On the next flight, Joy flew to California to personally talk to Gerhard. Joy stated that she would not overpay and that she would sue if necessary because her sister was not an official employee of her company and had no right to negotiate on her behalf. Gerhard said that production costs were rising, and therefore the price was increasing. Then, under the pretext of going to the restroom, Joy sneaked into the workshop and found out that Gerhard had embezzled her patent. Joy is about to retrieve her blueprints and molds, but Gerhard called the police, claiming that Joy illegally intruded into his workshop. As the officers took Joy away, she promised Gerhard that he wouldn't get away with it. Joy was arrested, but Trudy agreed to bail her out. Now Joy has even more debts, and she also has to pay her lawyer. It turned out that Gerhard's boss, who owns the company, stole her patent, and now all the legal rights belong to him. According to Trudy's lawyer, this is a knowingly losing battle. Moreover, when Peggy paid unjustified bills, she worsened the situation. Joy is desperate, with $500,000 in debt. Trudy convinces Joy to declare bankruptcy as there is no other choice. If they go to court, they are more likely to lose. Trudy believes that Joy will never become a successful businesswoman because she lacks toughness and intuition. Rudy also convinces his daughter to sign the bankruptcy papers. This means she will lose the house that was mortgaged. Joy has no choice but to do it. She became hysterical, screaming that Mimi was wrong about her. She believes that these mops were the dumbest idea in her life. Asking her family to leave her alone, Joy went to the bathroom and cut her hair. It helped her calm down. She spent the whole night reading all the contracts and documentation. In the morning, Tony couldn't find his ex-wife anywhere and started to worry. Seeing a note on the mirror, he realized that she had already left the state. Meanwhile, determined, Joy flew to California and checked into a hotel, where she met a man to whom she had been transferring a portion of the profits all this time, because he was allegedly manufacturing goods similar to her mops in Hong Kong. But it turned out to be a fraud. In fact, Joy's mops have no analogs. Bartholomew assured her that he would refund all the payments and even pay more on top. Joy made the man sign a document stating that he does not claim her patent. Joy tolerated almost everything, but now she began to act tough and determined. Some time has passed since then. Joy has many patents that have broken all records. Joy has become a wealthy woman and moved into a big, beautiful house. And although Joy's relatives still often give her trouble, Tony and Jackie remain her loyal advisors and best friends. Now Joy helps people like her, who have amazing ideas, but who have no support. By the way, Joy and Neil have become business competitors, but it doesn't stop them from remaining friends. Neil is very proud of Joy, who has achieved everything on her own, overcoming all the difficulties.